There's a moment in The Wizard of Oz that always gets me. Dorothy, in her signature ruby slippers, whispering, "There's no place like home." But the older I got, the more I realized she wasn't trying to get home. Maybe she was trying to remember who she was before the storm. And if you're neurodivergent, especially if you were late diagnosed, that line just hits differently. Because we know what it means to be dropped into a world that doesn't speak our language and told to perform normal until we forget our own inner magic. This episode is about finding your way back to yourself, not the masked self, not the curated one, the barefoot, storm-weathered, ruby-shining truth of who you are. So Dorothy was blamed partially for just being curious, for dreaming big, and for following what pulled at her heart. And then she was punished for it. Sound familiar? Many of us were taught that being good meant being still, quiet, and predictable. That if we just followed the path, stayed in line, checked the boxes, we'd earn our way back to belonging. But that kind of belonging came at a cost. We lost our voice trying to sound right. We lost our joy trying to fit in. And then we lost our home trying to be someone that we weren't. And so we started overcompensating. Perfectionism became our armor, performing became our safety, and we lived in other people's approval. We measured our worth by how easy we were to manage. But masking is not home. It's exile with lipstick on. So when I finally got diagnosed, I felt like Dorothy pulling back the curtain, seeing the wizard for what he really was. Just a man with a microphone and a projection machine. I had built my entire identity around what people expected of me. The straight-A student, the strong one, the high achiever, the emotionally responsible one, the reliable friend who never needed help. But none of it was just mine. It was all projection, all illusion, and part of an overall survival strategy. I was living in Oz and pretending I understood the map. I was building castles in a land that never truly felt like home. And that wasn't just true of the Wizard of Oz movie. It was Return to Oz too, the terrifying reminder that the system doesn't always want you to wake up, that being too emotional, too sensitive, or too disobedient gets punished. And in that story, the land you longed for has been altered, and so have you. I remember being 4 years old, watching Elmira Gulch transform into the Wicked Witch of the West and hiding under a blanket. That fear stuck with me. But even more powerful was what happened years later. When I was 9, I had a dream. I met the Wicked Witch of the West, and she wasn't evil. She was just really misunderstood. This was in 1991, long before Wicked gave her a backstory. I knew even then that there was more to the story than we were told. Or the sci-fi miniseries Tin Man, where memory has been stolen and identity has been fragmented. The road back to wholeness isn't shiny. It's shadowed. Trauma just rewrites the map. Or in the TV show Emerald City, gone before its time, where conformity is enforced with silence. Neurodivergence wouldn't just be dismissed there. It would probably be eliminated. And yet, in every single version of Oz, whether it's on the film, on TV, or the books, the same truth emerges. The power was never in the wizard. The map was never the point. You have always been the magic. Home isn't a place that you have to prove your way into. It's the part of you that never left. And when you start unmasking, not to be seen by others, but to truly see yourself, that's when the ruby slippers start to glow again. This isn't about going back to who you were before everything hurt. It's about becoming who you were before the world told you to be someone else. And like any journey worth taking, it's going to be messy, non-linear, triggering, beautiful. There will be detours and flying monkeys and fields of poppies. You'll want to sleep through it, and yeah, you'll probably want to turn back. But then something is just going to click. You'll remember what it feels like to hear your own voice. You'll recognize the sound of your own laugh, and you feel the weight of a day where you didn't over-apologize or over-perform. And that is home. That's yours. Not the one you were promised, but the one you built. So if you're walking your own yellow brick road right now, unlearning, unmasking, and relearning your truth, you're not alone. You don't need to find a wizard. You don't need to follow the rules. You just need to follow the pull that feels like you. Come tell me what home means to you now, what you're reclaiming, and what you're no longer apologizing for. We are building a new Emerald City, and everyone here gets to glow.